In November last year, I bought a small group of these beautiful tiger antler guppies. I had 5 females and 4 males, and of course it didn't take very long before they started breeding. Since these are a bit more special and not your average guppies, I wanted to separate some babies and grow them out. From the first batch I only managed to separate 1, but you know how it goes with these fish, so within a month of acquiring them, I managed to separate a group of 20 babies. I didn't have a grow out tank ready for them, so they were temporarily staying in this planted vase. This was of course way too small, so it was time to set up a separate tank for the little ones. I made a nice little aquascape in a 30 cm tank, still not a very big home, but large enough for the first few months until they're big enough to move to a larger tank. So why do I think there's something wrong with these guppies? Well, let me show you. So this tank right here, this is their current home, and I've set up this aquarium, well, I think it was beginning of January. So it's now middle of April, and these guys were already born before I set up this tank up. So these guppies are definitely more than 4 months old, like probably already 5 months old. And look at the current size of them, they're still very, very, very small. I mean, there's this one right here, this one was born even earlier, I think this one was born in November. But all these small ones that you see right here, these guppies are 4 to 5 months old. Now I've done a little bit of research, and most websites say that guppies sort of reach adult size within 6 months or so. So that should mean that these guys should still grow like double or triple their size within the next 1 or 2 months. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm no expert on breeding fish, so I could be completely wrong on this. But I just feel like these guppies are way too small for their age. They should have been a lot bigger by now already. So what could be the problem? I think there's two things. There's 2 things I can think of. Number 1, maybe the aquarium is just too small. I mean, this tank only holds about 13 liters. There's quite a lot of babies, guppies in there as well. We have about 20 or so in here. So maybe because of the small space, they're not really growing that fast. I mean, that could be right. Classic example, goldfish in a bowl. They also they don't grow very big. Another issue is there's actually something I discovered recently because of you guys. So in all my tanks, I use my tap water, just plain tap water. My tap water is quite hard, has a lot of minerals in there. But in this aquarium, I'm actually using reverse osmosis water. So the water in here is very soft. When I mentioned this like a few videos earlier, a few of you messaged me saying that that's actually not very good for guppies. Guppies actually prefer hard water, and the minerals in hard water actually help them build their skeleton. So that was completely new to me. After I heard that, I also increased the TDS in the aquarium here. So I think it's one of those 2 things. It could be, of course, also be both. But I mean, besides that, I really don't have a clue what else it could be. I feed these guys often, at least every day. I feed them a variety of dry foods, like granules, flakes. I want to catch them today. I want to move them to a bigger tank. The bigger tank also has tap water, so it's hard water. So maybe we'll see if they will grow faster in a bigger tank. So I have a few tanks that could be a suitable new home for the guppy babies. This could be one of them. This is the blue velvet shrimpscape. So there's roughly 10 blue velvet shrimp in here. But this aquarium is only 20 liters, so it's not that much bigger than their current home. And also I would like to, to have some babies from these shrimp, and I'm sure the guppies will eat the shrimp babies if they get the chance. So I don't think this one is a very good option. I think this one is a better option. This is the forest style aquascape. This one is 40 liters. Yeah, roughly 40 liters. So it's like 3 times the size of their current home. So this could be a good option. In here we only have a few of the Phoenix rasboras, and they're just a little bit bigger than the guppies right now. But they will not be, we don't really have to be afraid of anything. There's also 1 pair of scarlet badas in here, but they're also very, very tiny. So there's no predators in here. So we could move the baby guppies in this tank. I have 1 more option. Yeah, so this one could be an option as well. This is my 70 liter capers tank. In here I only have a group of the green neon tetras. I used to have some apistogramma in here as well, but they moved to the big shallow. But I think this tank is a bit too big. So this is 70 liters for some guppy babies. Like, it's a bit too extreme, right? Also there's quite a big filter on here, and well, you can't really see it, but the inflow in the back still has relatively large slots, so they could get sucked in there, so we don't want that to happen. yeah, I think the 40 liter 4-star aquascape is the best option. So I've managed to catch maybe half of them. A little word of advice: if you're making a guppy grower tank, don't turn it into an aquascape. Just keep it nice and simple, keep it bare bottom or whatever, so you can easily catch them again. Because this was a bit of a nightmare. So there's still, I think there's still like 10 left or so. Yeah, it's a beautiful tank. Kind of a bummer that the guppies have to go. So I think we'll just turn this into a shrimp tank, because it's too small for anything else, to be honest. Okay, I think I've managed to catch all of them besides the one that was a little bit bigger than the rest. He's the oldest one, he's the smartest one. He's like, nope, not gonna happen, MJ. So in terms of temperature, these two tanks are very, very similar. So we don't really have to temperature acclimate them, but we still need to CO2 acclimate them, if that's a thing. So in this aquarium we have CO2 injection. In the previous tank we didn't have CO2 injection. So we still need to get these guys adjusted to the CO2 levels. So I'll just every 10 minutes or so take a little bit of water, add it to it, so they can kind of get used to those CO2 levels. And also the tap water in here is of course different. So we'll just let them get used to it, and then we can release them. Okay, fast forward just over a month later. I think it's been 5 weeks since we added the guppies in this tank, and I'm happy to say that that was the right move. They've been doing much better and they've grown quite a lot as well. Here we go. So now most of them are roughly the same size as the Phoenix Rasbora in here. And when they went in here, they were basically maybe half the size of the Phoenix Rasbora. And now we can finally start seeing a difference between male and female as well. So right there in the middle of the screen we have a beautiful male starting to color up nicely. We have another one over here, also just starting to show some colors. Beautiful bodies over there as well. Now it's hard to see growth when you look at fish every single day. Even though like a month had passed, I still felt like they were kind of growing very, very slowly. But I was just sitting here on my laptop, basically editing the video and watching at the footage from a month ago. And then you can definitely see quite a big difference, you know? But still, there's like quite a big difference in size between all of them. Like some of them are already like a good size. For example, like that colorful male I just showed you. Over here we have quite a decent size female as well. You know, like it's proper. Looks like a proper female guppy already. And then, yeah, for example, this one over here is still very, very, very tiny. Like a third of the size of the other one. You know, even though they're the same age. So that is weird. So maybe this, yeah, keeping them in too small of a tank, keeping them in soft water without minerals, I think that just had a long-lasting effect on their growth. So the main reason I wanted to make this video was just to kind of create some awareness what keeping fish in small spaces can do to their growth, you know. And so I will definitely not make the mistake again. Also, I've learned from my mistake of keeping guppies in very soft water. I'll definitely not do that again as well. From now on, guppies will enjoy my hard tap water. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll see you next time. Take care.